This is the Zambezi escarpment in northern Zimbabwe. It's a beautiful place and it's my home. My name is Farai Mukono and I farm here with my father. And I think we are good. Oh no, not again. That elephant head. They are always around here. Why don't they move away somewhere else? If only I had a gun, a big gun, I would shoot them all, one by one. Then we would be rid of them for good. We would be a lot happier without them around here. Now I have to go all the way around them again. The stupid beasts. When I told my father those elephants were around here again, he was very angry. I knew he would be. It meant another sleepless night on the fields, guarding our crop against those stupid beasts. We've been doing that over a week, and we are getting very tired of it now. Last night was the worst. The cow leading the herd didn't want to go anyway, just kept wandering about. We tried driving them all off, shouting, banging tins, jumping up and down. My brother David even tried throwing burning logs at them, but nothing helped. Those useless beasts just went away for a few minutes. Then they were back again in another part of the field. The bull even tried to attack my father. Fortunately, he managed to get away. Over half of the crop is destroyed, and those elephants are still around. Fences are useless against them. They know we can't do anything to keep them away. They are used to us and do just what they like. We tried to save what we could of the crops, but it wasn't much. We are going to lose the lot if this is going on. Father was upset. He said we couldn't go on living like this, staying up night after night. How would we get any work done during the day? No, we just had to keep those elephants away from our crops. And Father said that he had found a way. Wait and see, he said. Now, what did he have in mind? A few days later, 3 men arrived at our village. Father seemed to expect them and greeted them warmly. One of the men had some sort of long object hidden in a canvas sack. I wondered who they were and what they were doing in our village. The leader was Simba Murewa from Zambia. Father had heard about him from his brother who farms in Ome, down in the valley. He heard Simba was a man with the people's best interests in mind, and Father had sent for him. Simba was a poacher. That's a kind of a hunter. One game rangers don't like because they shoot animals without permission. There is a reward if you report them and tell the rangers where to find them. But nobody here would do that. Why should they? Especially since Simba was here to help us get rid of those elephants. And I was going to be his guide, and happy to be that. I knew those elephants well enough and we got on their spoor in no time at all. Simba was not charging us anything for killing these elephants. He said he only wanted the tusks. He could sell them in Zambia for a little profit, just enough to cover his expenses. He's really a great guy, going to all that trouble to help us get rid of those damned beasts. It didn't take long to find them, right there in the bush near our field, waiting as usual for night to come so they could eat more of our crops. But not this time. It only took one bullet. Simba is a very good shot. And that bull was big. A big, fat beast. It was stuffed full of our crops, so we were certainly entitled to the meat. Simba said we could take it all, but to come back for it later. This was no time for hanging around. Right now, we had to cut off those tusks and get away quickly. But before we even started, the anti-poaching unit was upon us. Where did they come from? How did they know we were there? I was arrested and taken to the church office in town. I was treated like a criminal. That's what police said I was. But surely I have the right to protect our crops from pests. What's wrong with that? But the police said that elephants are not pests. And because I helped to kill an elephant, I was now a poacher. I, a criminal. If greedy elephants are not pests, then what is? I was questioned about Simba. They wanted to know where he was, but I didn't know. They said he was a common criminal, making plenty of money from selling tusks. But I knew that Simba was a good man, doing the right thing by killing those beasts.
We hear the matter of the state versus Farah Mkono. Your Worship, the accused is facing a charge under the Parks and Wildlife Act.
What are the facts, Mr. Prosecutor?
The facts are, the accused is a male adult and resident at Masoka village in the Guruwe area. On April 10 this year, the accused and others poached an elephant in the Masoka area of Guruwe. An anti-poaching unit which was in the area managed to apprehend the accused and he was arrested whilst others ran away.
I was charged with killing an elephant, which they call poaching. But how else were we supposed to get rid of those beasts? Did these people expect us to stay up all night, night after night, trying to keep those elephants off our fields? But then we would be too tired to work during the day. Here I was, a criminal, and I didn't understand it at all.
I admit to the facts and I agree with them, Your Worship.
Now, it is the duty of every responsible citizen in this country to preserve and conserve our wildlife. We have preserved this natural heritage for the future generation, for the future of your children and your children's children. You are in a privileged position because you stay amongst these animals yourself. And it is the duty of this court to see that these animals are protected from being molested by people like yourself. Now, have you got anything to say about that for yourself?
The magistrate couldn't seem to understand that elephants were eating all our food. He actually wanted us to protect them. I tried to explain to him that in towns, people don't protect pests which eat their food, like cockroaches, for example. No, in towns, people were killing such pests in every way possible. Elephants are pests just like cockroaches, but elephants eat much more than cockroaches do.
This is unbelievable. How on earth can you compare elephants to cockroaches? Cockroaches bring disease. And elephants are beautiful animals. They glorify the world. This is not mitigating at all. Now, have you got anything to say for yourself?
Nothing I said could make the magistrate understand. I asked him if he would like to have a few of our elephants in his garden, eating his vegetables and crops so that he too can protect them.
How dare you talk like that? I find you guilty as charged and sentence you 6 months imprisonment, and on top of that, $50 fine or 1 month for contempt of court. Do you understand? Get him out of here. Get him out of here quickly.
When I got back home, my father told me that after the bull was shot, the rest of the elephants had been scared away, but only for about a week. They were back and worse than ever. Father had sent for Simba again, but he couldn't come because the rangers were too active in our area. So what were we going to do now? Father asked me to go and see Temba, our neighbor's son. He had heard that Temba had some sort of an idea. So I went to see Temba straight away. The crops of Temba's family had also been destroyed by the elephants. So our families had a common interest. Temba said that we had to get rid of those elephants and do it in such a way that we do not get caught by the scouts. Since we weren't allowed to have guns to shoot them, we would have to find another way. And Temba happened to have an idea. Temba's idea was for us to make an elephant trap. The elephants usually came to our fields through here, so this would be a good spot. The best part about the trap was that the game scouts couldn't arrest us, even if they found it, because they wouldn't know who had made it. Digging the hole was hard work, but we did it gladly. It was our weapon against those greedy beasts. The idea was for the elephant to fall into the trap and be killed instantly by the sharp stakes at the bottom. We would then cover the hole so that nobody would know anything about it. Of course, it would be a shame to waste all that meat, but it had to be a secret. It's a sacrifice we had to make. Temba said that elephants would know if one of them was killed and wouldn't walk over the body. So that particular route to our fields would be blocked. Then we would make another trap in another spot and get another elephant. Then that route too would be blocked. Then, according to Temba, the elephants would realize our fields were dangerous and they would stay away. I didn't know if the plan would work, but anything was worth trying to get rid of those stupid beasts. Next morning when we went to check the trap, we saw that something had been there. But it was empty now. Maybe the hole was too small, or the stakes too blunt. But there were blood stains and elephant prints everywhere, so we knew an elephant had walked into the trap. Better to cover the hole now, quickly. It was not long before the senior ranger called round. We guessed it would have something to do with the elephant and the trap. Everyone in the village knew that we were trying to do something to keep the elephants away from our fields. And that rumor must have reached the ranger. We were right. The ranger was angry. He had followed a blood spoon near to our field and noticed it had suddenly been covered by fresh soil. He wanted to know if we knew anything about it. Of course we didn't. The ranger said he had found a cow elephant with a broken wooden stake sticking out of its side, wandering about in the bush. It was mad with pain, bumping into trees and stumbling over rocks. Its young calf was desperately trying to follow its mother. The ranger had to shoot them both because the calf wouldn't have survived alone. And then the ranger had followed the bloody path back to our field. He was very angry, but we were happy. 2 elephants less to worry us. The ranger, of course, couldn't blame us, but he must have been quite sure we were responsible. Then the ranger told us about a meeting to be held next week. It was about something called CAMPFIRE, which is some kind of program to conserve wild animals. That meant we would have to start conserving our wildlife, he said. To us, it seemed just another way of other people allowing elephants to eat all our food. But we attended the meeting anyway. All the other villagers and members of the council were there. And maybe we had a chance to talk about our problems to the people in authority. The ranger told us about the program called CAMPFIRE. According to that program, the wildlife belongs to us, the people. Father couldn't believe this. He asked whether we could now hire somebody to kill all the elephants once and for all. The ranger said that that was not the idea at all. We were to use the elephants and other wildlife on a sustainable basis, whatever that means. Father wanted to leave. It was no good to own elephants and not being able to do anything with them, he said. But the official begged, really asked very nicely, for us to stay and hear him through. The ranger asked us how much money was an elephant worth. Father said immediately that for him an elephant was worth a lot to get rid of, but otherwise it was worth nothing. Elephants only cost us so much money by the damage they cause that we can't even count it. Father was really annoyed. He said that it was very well for people in town to talk about conservation and national heritage or something like that. But why were we supposed to suffer from it? Why can't those people come and move the elephants somewhere else so that they could conserve them there? We were all quite excited, and it took the ranger some time to calm us down. Then he told us an elephant is worth $60,000.
$60,000. $60,000. Mari akawanda.
That is what hunters from overseas pay to shoot an elephant. That is how much our ward would get for every elephant they shoot in our area. And when the hunters shoot an elephant, they usually give us most of the meat. Sometimes they might give us some of the skins and other parts as well, if they don't want them themselves. All they want are trophies. Buffalo would be worth $10,000 for our ward, and we all know how good buffalo meat is. Lion would be worth $15,000, and all the other animals would also bring in lots of money too. And then other people would come just to watch the game and take pictures of the giraffes and elephants and lions and whatever else may be around. And still others would come just to see our beautiful landscapes, our forests and rivers. People who would like to enjoy our unspoiled nature and good climate. Others would like to fish in our rivers and dams. And they have to pay for fishing licenses. The money comes to us. They would also pay for guides to take them to good fishing spots. They would all need food to eat and soft drinks, as well as beer and wine to drink. We would have jobs supplying, preparing, and serving all that food and drink to them. The visitors will also need places to eat and sleep, and there would be many jobs for us in building the houses and camps for them. We could be earning good money there too. Later, there would be many jobs in maintaining and running the camps and serving the visitors. They would also buy things made from our animal products, such as ivory carvings and bags made out of elephant skins and so on. To start with, our ward can keep all the money the hunters pay for each animal shot in our area. We can use it for all kinds of purposes, like paying out compensation for people like my father, who have lost their crops because of the elephants. We could also use the money for building schools and clinics. We could build an electric fence, which is a very good way of keeping elephants and other animals out of our fields. And we could even have some money for ourselves if we wanted to. But first we have to make sure we have the animals to make it all possible. Fires burn everything, and if animals have nothing to eat, they will move away. So, we should make sure that we don't cause any fires. If we protect our animals and make sure that they have plenty to drink and eat, they will multiply, and there would even be more money from the hunters and other visitors for us. Of course, we shouldn't make snares at all. We would only be stealing from ourselves. Later, when there are plenty of animals, we could organize big hunts and get meat for everybody. But we have to do it in such a way that we always have enough animals for ourselves and our visitors. Temba asked when we will get all that money and how much it will be. But it was not quite that easy. First, we have to form a ward wildlife committee and elect representatives to it. Then the committee would have to decide how to manage the resources of our area and how to use the money earned. The Department of National Parks and Wildlife would supply experts to advise the committee. Naturally, the committee would work together with the neighboring wards and with the district wildlife committee so that a big enough area can be reserved for the wildlife utilization. It all sounded very interesting, but a bit complicated. In the end, we decided to go ahead and form a committee. Who knows, maybe some good will come out of it. But we will only believe that those big beasts are valuable when we see the money in our hands. How can we be sure that this campfire thing is not just another trick by the people in the towns to conserve the elephants at our expense? A way to let elephants feed on our crops. We have to wait and see. Those big beasts are still there, blocking our way. And they will probably raid our field again tonight. That bull has got tusks, probably quite valuable. But it could also eat more of our crops than the others. I would like to see those hunters here right now. On the other hand, if we only had an electric fence now, those beasts probably wouldn't bother us at all. Then we too could conserve our natural heritage from a distance exactly the same way as those people in towns and overseas do.